Praise be Jesus and Mary. Here we celebrate St. Januarius, one of the more popular saints in Italy. He was, during the time of Diocletian, so back in the 200s, Bishop of Benevento, and was taken with some of his companions to Naples and martyred there in Naples. He was originally buried in a catacomb there in Naples, and I've had the opportunity to visit that spot. A rather small catacomb, but in Naples. But then was removed. His remains were removed, and they're now retained in the cathedral. The remains are under the crypt. They're in the crypt under the main altar. But they also have a reliquary with 5 globules of his blood, which remain in hardened state. Usually that reliquary is kept in a silver bust of the saint in a side chapel. But on this day, his feast day, and on the first Sunday of May, which is when Italy celebrates Mother's Day, the reliquary is removed from the bust and taken up to the front of the cathedral in an immense crowd and held up by the Cardinal Archbishop in front of the crypt. And the blood fizzes to life. Every year, normally, it fizzes to life for a few days, liquefies. I have not yet been able to see or find out yet if it is liquefied this year so far, but normally it does. I think there's only once in history that it did not liquefy. And one time now, in our own day and age, when it did liquefy partially only, when the Pope, our current Pope, shortly after his election, visited Naples and held up the reliquary, but it was a different, I think it was in June, if I remember correctly. It was not the normal day, and it partially liquefied. But in any case, that's the normal thing, which, again, is a sign, shall we say, particularly for the people of Italy. I've had the opportunity to see it both in its liquefied and its hard state while I was in Italy doing my formation. But one of those lasting miracles that continues to occur every year, all right, it shows a sign that God is watching over us one way or another, that his blood liquefies. But it also, again, I say he's one of the more popular saints. Many of the boys are named after him in Italy. In any case, but it's a sign that, again, that faith that St. Januarius and his companions had, but they were willing to give up their lives for it, and did. He was willing to shed his blood, which he did. He was beheaded. And some of that blood is still saved, that can be venerated today. The faith that we too must go on having in spite of what we see happening around us. A faith that says, I too am willing, if God wills it, to give up my life for it. With the grace of God, we can overcome. We can win the victory. We can turn this all around. Without that grace alone, we'll never be able to do it. But with his grace, we can, and we must never give up that hope. We can. Because we can always unite ourselves with God. We can pray. We can offer our penances in reparation for the sins we commit and for those of others too. Together we can bring this all about and bring back peace in our society. Peace and harmony. We can, with the grace of God. And we must continue praying for it incessantly. We must exercise that faith we have, and strongly, never to be afraid. With the grace of God, we can. All things are possible. Praise be Jesus and Mary, now and forever.